Minister Herman Galushenko and Energy Minister Svitlana Yunchuk. Galushenko served as the Energy Minister from 2021 to 2025, while Yunchuk held the position since the summer of this year. This move comes after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called for their removal amid a probe into an alleged $100 million corruption scheme in the country's energy sector. The scandal is the largest wartime graft case in Ukraine and emerges as Kiev struggles with Russian advances on the battlefield. Now, over the weekend, Zelensky has announced an overhaul of key state energy companies, including a complete change of management at Energoatom, which is Ukraine's state-owned nuclear power operator as well. Government officials have also been directed to maintain close coordination with law enforcement and anti-corruption bodies. Additionally, the Ukrainian president has also instructed its government to submit urgent legislation to Parliament to reform the National Energy and Utilities Regulatory Commission. New leaders are expected to be appointed across other energy bodies as well. These reforms are coming in as Ukraine has signed a deal with Greece to import US-supplied liquefied natural gas between December 2025 and March 2026. The agreement will help offset losses from Russian attacks on energy infrastructure. Moreover, Zelensky is also scheduled to visit France and Spain in order to sign military aid agreements. According to reports, he faces pressure to show European allies that corruption in Ukraine is being tackled very, very seriously. Still with us on the broadcast is Mr. Keith Vaz. Rather than this simply just being a game of optics that Zelensky wants to show that he's taking a tough stance by sacking these ministers, voting them out, but also conducting an overhaul as far as the larger energy system in Ukraine is concerned as well. Is it also a message to the people over there and proactive action to ensure that energy is not really misappropriated, the funds are not misappropriated, and the Ukrainian people who are now suffering as the war is going to enter its fourth year in the February next year, actually receive benefits of what Ukraine is buying and generating?
Well, I think you summed it up quite well there. The fact is that there is concern. 100 million is a lot of money. And therefore, the one question that remains is, how is it possible to do this when you are tracking all the money and assistance you're getting, when you are looking after your country? How do you allow $100 million to go missing by way of corruption? I think the Ukrainian government and the parliament has acted swiftly, which is good. He has to reassure people that the money that they're giving, billions, I mean, countries have given Ukraine billions and billions of dollars over the years, that it's being properly accounted for. So this is the right thing for him to do. I admire Zelensky's energy, the way in which he manages to travel around and seek new alliances and new deals. But, you know, there will come a time when Donald Trump will probably get fed up and want to call for another peace agreement between the two countries. The best way to deal with corruption is to let the people of Ukraine get on with their lives, which means to get peace with Russia and therefore form part of the broader family of European nations. I don't think there's anything else he can do. He's done the right thing. He needs to monitor, and he needs to make sure that the monitoring is successful. Those responsible need to be removed from office, and they need to be prosecuted for what they've done.
Absolutely, sir. Requesting you to stay on with us. We're tracking further updates as far as the war itself is now concerned. We're now learning that Russian drones have struck apartment buildings in Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv, injuring 32 people, including 2 children, sparking fires and forcing dozens of residents to flee from their homes. On that note, let's also listen in to what a resident has to say.
Я проживаю на 3-му поверсі цього під'їзду, і я якраз був в той момент, коли був приліт, я сидів біля вікна, чую, летить шахет, потім він, достатньо чутно було, як він наближався, я почав виходити в коридор, бо відчував небезпеку, і потім він прилетів і мене буквально вибуховою хвилею зіштовхнуло в коридор. Потім я підвівся, я впав на уламки скла, Потім почав шукати своїх родичів, чи всі цілі здорові. Все було нормально, потім почалася пожежа, загорілися всі машини, які тут були у нас на під'їзді.
Meanwhile, Ole Sinizkov, the governor of Kharkiv, has claimed that Russian forces have launched 19 drones at Slobodisky, Osnoviansky and Nemesliansky districts of Ukraine. This comes as the death toll from the Russian strike on the western Ukrainian city of Ternopil rises to 25. Still with us on the broadcast is Mr. Keith Vaz. You know, the bombardment is continuing, but we've tracked some other rather interesting developments taking place in Ukraine. We've also learned that 2 senior U.S. Army officials arrived in Kiev. The U.S. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll and the Army Chief of Staff General Randy George. They're expected to meet President Volodymyr Zelensky, top commanders of the Ukrainian armed forces and lawmakers as well. Local media was in fact also reporting that Driscoll may also meet Russian officials at a later stage. This all comes as there are currently murmurs, speculations that the US is engaging with Russia behind the scenes, that back-channel diplomacy is on to draft a 28-point peace plan. The Kremlin has today not really publicly commented on this, but of course there are hints, there are murmurs, rumors at least, that back-channel diplomacy is well and on. How do you view what is taking place even as the bombardment is happening? All right, there seems to be an issue as far as Mr. Vaz's connection is concerned. We will continue to track these updates very, very closely, but in the meantime, we're shifting focus